This is boy. Hi guys, I'm Jess and I'm your host for the Back to My Roots.
My name is Dave and I am your host for the Back to My Roots TV show.
You know, you were meant to be here 30 minutes ago.
But I am here 30 minutes later, am I not? Looking fabulous as ever. Roll the montage.
You know the vibes, son.
Yo, why are you sounding like that?
Get ready, it's time.
Time for what?
It's time.
Back to my roots. Back here, we back to my roots. Go back to my roots. Go back to my roots. Back to my roots. Back to my roots. Back to my roots. Back here, we back to my roots.
Hi guys and welcome back. Now let's move on to the Blue Table Talk with Dave and Jess.
Welcome back, guys, to the entrance to the Blue Table Talk. We would love to have you and see you with our very special guest.
But I just said that.
I said it fabulously,
No,
did I not?
no, it doesn't
I
make
said
a
it fabulously,
difference.
did I
It
not?
doesn't make a difference. Is it an interview?
Or our point of view.
All in all, it's for your view. Welcome to the Blue Table Talk.
On today's episode of the Back to My Roots TV show, we have with us Ahama Isaac. Let's give it up for Isaac.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes,
Come.
sir, our pleasure. On today's show, we're going to be talking about fashion.
Yes.
So fashion is a really broad topic, but we're going to specifically talk about fashion in Nigeria. So Isaac, what would you define as fashion?
I would define fashion as you, first of all, being you, knowing who you are, and your level of creativity, how you think about combining of colors to bring out something.
Yeah,
But basically for me, fashion is being you. Being you because it's how you express yourself
So
that brings out.
there's that difference. There's that difference between being fashionable and putting on clothes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So the fashion that we're going to be talking about today is not the Gucci or the Louis V or the Nike that you're putting on. It's your combination, like you said. It's the creativity that you're going to put on. Now in Nigeria, fashion is, yes, a lot of people say that we have fashion in Nigeria. We do have fashion in Nigeria, but I believe that we haven't. Do you agree that we haven't established it here in Nigeria?
I would say fashion in Nigeria is coming up gradually, day by day. Like, there are so many people on social media now that are trying to embrace the African fashion, basically in Nigeria. Like, you see people are mixing the tie and dye.
Yeah.
They are mixing our beads, our hair. There was this photo shoot I saw, the way we rubber, that's hair we rubber, then it was standing. So we're now embracing it now, and everybody is like, we are all digging into it now, into our fashion. Yeah.
So what do you think that it is that you are adding into the Africanness of fashion in Nigeria?
Personally, I'm adding like my gilly crafts. I'm trying to bring in gilly crafts, like my gilly, the kind of styles I tie, mixing it with like English at the same time, English way of dressing and everything. Because if you look at Orange Ned, he is a Nigerian Nigerian designer. So he mixes, there's this African setting still in his fashion, but yet most of his styles are like they're having this English part. Yes, there's a balance. I'm trying to lay that balance down, that you can still dress your African way and yet you can still slay being
Yeah, and I think it's something that's really important. I mean, we can all agree that we can't stop the English from vastly taking over what we wear. I mean, I'm wearing English clothes right now. But the point is, if you can't stop something from taking over, you can try and control it. So, our efforts to controlling English fashion in Nigeria is fusing it with our Nigerian fashion.
Yeah.
So, fashion being very wide and very vast is, we have to use it to our advantage here in Nigeria. Because a lot of times when we like go to the island and stuff, I always feel like the island should be our own Nigerian New York City.
Yeah.
You know, like how it is in New York. A bunch of people in fashion on the sidewalk. That is where people display fashion, on the sidewalk. But here in Nigeria, I'm waiting to go to church to wear that fine
Exactly.
cloth
You know,
combination.
that's what I was about to say
You know what I'm
that
saying?
in Nigeria, like African children, like let's say from my age, 13, and maybe downward, maybe 14 and bit. Like we don't have an aesthetic. The aesthetic is called wear what your mommy is saying is fine.
Agreed.
Because you might be like, oh, I'm a grunge aesthetic. Go and put on black. Are you going to the funeral, my brother? Why are you dressed like that? Why are you dressed like that?
No, I think the problem is the mentality here. At times I wear some certain things in my house because I will call my house the real Nigerian house. I'm wearing it and they're like, Isaac, this thing you are wearing. And I'm like, Mommy, I'm trying to imitate what Orange Ned was wearing now. And she's like, do you know where you are? Do you know? I was even going out. She was like, why is your trousers so big? Why is your shirt so big? And I was like, Mommy, this is what is raining. So like, their mentality is not helping at hand. Like, we want to express ourselves, but it's like there's this barrier, there's this hindrance. Like, I want to dress well to church. I want to dress like, I want to impress myself to church, but like, it's just a service, Isaac. You don't need to be too much.
Exactly.
So,
And you know, there was this thing that David wore this day. He wore a turtleneck and then he also wore a jacket and then he put on a pair of jeans. And my mom was like, I think it was dad, and he was like,
What are you wearing?
why are you wearing? Why do you know where we're going to? Why are you looking like we're going to a fashion parade? Please go and change. And then he wore this native shirt on top of a pair of white jeans. And my parents were just looking and I was like, and my parents were like, what are you wearing? And I actually think that it's because of, they still think that wearing African clothes should stick to African attire. If you're wearing native, stick to wearing native completely. But you can always mix it up a
always add
bit.
it up. And
Exactly.
it still comes back to what Isaac said in the intro. Fashion is you. It's your creativity. Fashion is not, if people are telling you that there's a certain type of way you should dress or certain type of clothes you should wear when you are in a certain area, that's not what the real fashion is. The real fashion is you've been able to combine a bunch of clothes with a bunch of colors. You've been able to scale through all the criteria that makes this look good, the criteria for making what you're wearing look good. And you sit down to yourself and I'm like, this is a pretty good outfit. I can't lie. And I'm going to wear it out and someone is going to tell me, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Have you been to a Virgil Abloh? Have you seen a Virgil Abloh fashion runway? Do you see what they wear?
Yeah.
That is the real thing.
like, coming to that, I remember when I was at home, like, we're watching this fashion runway, and my mom was like, what is this they're all wearing? This is rag. Everybody's wearing nonsense. And I was like, Mommy, this is just it. You just have to deal with it. Fashion is changing. It's not just the regular trouser and shirts, or I'm talking just to look. But now we want it wild. We want it like wild and creative. You get?
But like, I don't think, to some points, like before all these things, all these different aesthetics that we have, cottagecore, we have different ones, like before they started, when people were wearing it continuously, they were like, why are you dressed like this? It was so confusing at first. But then when the society decided that, yeah, let's actually embrace this thing because it actually looks pretty good, that's when we now said that, yeah, we could actually start dressing like this. That's exactly what we should be doing with African stuff. And Buba and Rapper.
And I think like the entire like cycle of the evolvement and the evolution of fashion, it always revolves around time. Because as we're going forward, we're going back. See everybody going back to clothes now. Baggy clothes was reigning back in the time, it's a hip hop thing, old hip hop, and now we're wearing. So I feel like we should use that revolvement around time to our advantage, because humanity won't stop growing. So fashion should not stop growing. Our country, the things that our norms should not, our norms should influence what we wear, but at the same time, it shouldn't be our limits. Do you get? You should be able to. It's all about creativity. Fashion isn't even just the clothes you wear.
But now I have a question, cause like there's this thing when people say you're dressing improper. Like, do you have a particular standard? Like, you should say that, okay, women, if you want to dress this way, don't show too much cleavage, or don't make sure your dresses aren't too short. Or men, when you're dressing properly, cover yourselves in some particular areas. Is there anything like that you'd like?
Yeah, that thin line between fashion and indecency.
Honestly, to be very honest right now, I think as we are trying to be wild and creative, we are also like, we are passing the limit.
Yeah.
These days, if a lady is not wearing this clothes that is tearing everywhere, like, you are not wearing anything. Like, you are not just in it. You are not just the Lagos girl. You are not just you are not just hitting it. So like now, you see ladies, they don't even wear bra anymore. So like, why? I thought they created bra to hold it for you. Why? What is the point of you now showing us? So I think now we are taking advantage of, oh, we want to dress, we want to show ourselves, but there should be this. This yes.
Yeah.
You can still wear a shirt. You can still dress with your whole expression, but you can still express yourself without you showing me your cleavages or showing me your thighs.
And it's true. Fashion is like really, it's really vast, but then at the same time people use it as an excuse to do the rubbish that they need to do, all the indecency and whatever. So there's a thin line between your creativity and maintaining your decency when you dress. So in today's talk, we have summed up on decency, we've summed up on your creativity, and then we've summed up on Africa. Yeah. Evolving our African fashion. And that is what we are going to do. So now, Isaac, we move on to this segment, the pick and remember. Yeah. So you pick a paper out of the box. We'll all pick a paper out of the box, and we'll read what the paper says, and we'll have to answer it. Nothing too serious.
Yeah.
I keep telling you guys, these questions are intentionally placed for me, and I don't know why. Isaac, you can go ahead and read them.
Okay, my question goes like this. What did you find most difficult about maturing? This question is... What did I find most difficult about maturing? I think it's my personality. Majorly, I behave feminine. I behave like, maybe when I'm walking like a female, and I'm growing, then I'm speaking, then my voice is deep, then you can see mustache, and everything about me is just like moving fast, but it's still there. So when I walk outside on the road, people are like, what's she bearing? Or maybe even when I'm tying gilly, I went to this to one of my clients' house to tie gilly, and the man was standing there, was like, you mean you do this? You mean you are tying gilly? Why? What made you? So I think like maturing, like that is what is difficult for me. Like
discovering.
Yes, exactly, discovering.
You go for it.
My question said most embarrassing school moment. It's crazy. I was in junior school, just one. My second term in just one. It was embarrassing and it was scary because I was bullied for a long time after this thing. Our school used to wear white socks when I was in my old school. We used to wear white socks, and they finally announced that we could wear black socks. Our uniform was blue, so black socks would really go well. And all the seniors were like, hey, and then the next day, I had an issue. I couldn't really see colors. So I came to school the next day with brown socks. And the principal saw me, the vice principal saw me, and she was like, why are you wearing brown socks? That's why you people, you like to overdo. When they've given you freedom, you like to overdo. And I'm like, what is wrong? What did I do? And they said, why are you wearing brown socks? And then they brought me out in front of the entire school. And then they were like, what is different about this boy? what? Look at him. What is on him? Everybody just started doing like this, and I was like, and they just said, no more black socks as from now. I couldn't come out of my class for weeks. I remember the time I tried to come out from the French class, this guy was already about to. Seniors hate, everybody hated, my classmates hated me. So yes, it was the most embarrassing moment of my school life.
Yee.
Who's your question?
What is the weirdest name you ever heard? For me in general, because I'm African, I don't think I've heard any. I've heard a name that was called Sweetness. That was somebody's name, Sweetness. And I just rolled with it because I'm in Africa. I've heard so many things. I could come to school the next day and someone's name is Tomato. And I'll just roll. Your name is Tomato Adeboye. Oh, okay, let's go with it. I'm cool.
In fact, I feel like every white person that has a name is weird. It's like, are you going to wake up one day and be like, oh yeah, my son's name is going to be Guy White Spoon.
Exactly. Like there's this author of this book I read, and his name was Pink Water, and I was like, why would I sit down and think of this?
You're gonna wake up in the middle of the night and be like, huh? Honey, we're going to name you White Spoon. It's on some weird level of. But you know, my guys, with this, we have come to the end of this episode, and
the guests,
the tradition,
will
sign on the box. So Isaac, you
Okay.
sign on our box.
What are you doing? This boy, I don't understand you again. But anyways, with that, guys, we end this episode of the Blue Table Talk. Thank you, Isaac, for coming and
Thank you so
teaching
much.
us about fashion.
Yes, sir.
So with
Thank
that,
you so much for
we
having
all are saying goodbye.
Bye.
Welcome to Cheers to Agu. In this game, you have 20 seconds to answer one question. If you answer wrongly, you drink from your cup of Agu. Agu is an ancient African mixture made from herbs and plants. In treating diseases or maintaining health, it is often very bitter. Please note, we do not endorse Agu over medical science. Are you ready? In which year did Nigeria become a republic? A. 1957, B. 1960, C. 1963, D. 1971.
1963.
Correct.
Welcome to the party.
TTFN, Tata for now, was said by which cartoon character? A. Benny the Cow, B. Tigger, C. Anteater, D. Woody.
Oh, freak. Tigger.
Correct.
Oh my god!
Back to my roots.
Hi guys. Back in the days, the king of Ghana and the West Africa was known for his bling culture. Even his pavilion that he stood on was gold. Anytime he gave an audience to his crowd, his princes had gold plaited into their hair. I mean, even the dogs had gold collars round their necks. And the soldiers had gold swords and gold shields. But welcome back to Nigeria. You want to find those things? You're gonna get into some big trouble with the government. But this is the end of the episode, and I hope to see you next time. Follow us on our socials below the screen. Love you.